The first and most powerful step toward getting anything done in your life is this: take full, unconditional responsibility for everything you experience. No exceptions. It's easy to point fingers, easy to say, it's the economy, or my boss is holding me back, or my parents didn't raise me right. But as long as you're blaming something or someone else, you're giving away your power. You're putting your success in someone else's hands. And here's the truth: no one is coming to save you. Not the government, not your spouse, not your mentor, not even your best friend. If your life isn't where you want it to be, your career, your health, your relationships, it's time to stop looking outside and start looking within. The results you're getting are a reflection of the choices you're making. Even your inaction is a choice. You're either creating your results, or you're allowing them to happen by default. Taking 100% responsibility doesn't mean you caused every bad thing that's ever happened to you. It means that you are responsible for how you respond, what you choose to do next, how you think about it, and whether you let it define you or strengthen you. That's where your freedom lies. That's where your power begins. If you want different outcomes, you must make different choices. That's the equation: event plus response equals outcome. You can't always control the event, but you can always control your response. So ask yourself, are you blaming the past or building your future? Are you reacting to circumstances or creating them? Are you waiting for motivation, or are you acting in spite of your emotions? When you shift into 100% ownership of your life, you no longer need permission, you no longer make excuses, and you no longer waste time wondering if it's possible. You simply get to work. Own your decisions, own your actions, own your results. That's the mindset of someone who gets up and gets it done. One of the biggest reasons people don't achieve what they want is because they're not actually sure what they want. They say things like, I just want to be successful, or I want to be happier, or I want to make more money. But what does that mean, really? Vague goals produce vague results. Clarity is not a luxury, it's a necessity. If you can't describe your goal clearly, in detail, and with conviction, how do you expect your brain to get to work on achieving it? How can you take meaningful action if you don't even know what you're aiming at? You wouldn't get in a car, start driving, and say, I'll just figure it out along the way, with no destination in mind. Yet that's how most people go through life, on autopilot, reacting to what's around them instead of intentionally designing what's ahead of them. Clarity begins with asking yourself the hard questions. What do I truly want? Why do I want it? What would my life look like if I had it? What am I no longer willing to tolerate? And here's the part most people skip. You must write it down. If it's not on paper, it's not a goal, it's a wish. Clarity on paper creates focus in your mind, and focus is how you cut through distraction and chaos. Focus is how you align your time, energy, and actions with a result that actually matters to you. When you're crystal clear on your destination, decision-making becomes easier. You stop saying yes to things that pull you away from your path. You stop chasing opportunities that don't align with your mission. And you start living on purpose, not by accident. Clarity also helps you recognize progress. You know exactly what winning looks like. That means every small win, every completed step, becomes fuel for momentum. You don't just feel busy, you feel directed, empowered, unstoppable. So if you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or scattered, it's probably not a motivation problem. It's a clarity problem. You don't need to do more. You need to define better, get specific, get intentional, get honest. You can't hit a target you can't see. Fear is part of the process. It doesn't matter who you are, how much experience you have, or how confident you seem on the outside. Fear will show up the moment you decide to grow. The fear of failing, the fear of judgment, the fear of not being good enough, the fear of starting too late, the fear of standing out. But here's the truth that most people never learn. You don't need to get rid of fear. You need to stop waiting for it to disappear. If you only act when you're fearless, you'll spend your life standing still. Fear is not the enemy, inaction is. Most people think they need more confidence to take action, but confidence doesn't come first. Action comes first. You earn confidence through experience. You become more capable by doing the thing you're afraid of. Every time you act in the presence of fear, you take its power away. You prove to yourself that fear is just a signal, not a stop sign. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's making the choice to move forward even when your hands are shaking, your voice is trembling, and your mind is filled with doubt. Here's what separates the people who get things done from those who stay stuck. They feel fear, and they act anyway. They don't wait for the nerves to calm down. They don't need every step to be mapped out. They take the first step, then the next, and they build strength along the way. Fear is wired into your brain to protect you from real danger. But let's be honest, most of the fear you face today isn't life threatening. It's ego threatening. It's the fear of looking foolish or being misunderstood. And if you let that stop you, you'll spend your life shrinking to fit someone else's comfort zone. You have to decide what matters more, your fear or your future. You can be afraid and still make the call. You can be afraid and still apply for the job. You can be afraid and still hit publish, step on stage, speak your truth, launch your dream. Waiting to feel ready is a trap. You'll never feel 100% prepared. You'll never eliminate fear entirely, but what you can do is act now. With the fear, carry it with you. Let it ride shotgun, but don't let it touch the wheel. Start before you're ready. One of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is, I'll start when I'm ready. But let's be honest, how long have you been saying that? Days, months, maybe even years. The idea that you need to feel ready before you begin is one of the most dangerous forms of procrastination there is. Because readiness isn't a feeling, it's a decision, and the longer you wait for everything to be perfect, the more time you waste standing still while others pass you by. Success doesn't wait for you to catch up. It rewards the ones who take the leap, who show up early, who step into the game even when they don't have all the rules figured out. Look around at the people who are making things happen. They didn't have it all figured out when they started. They weren't the most qualified, the most experienced, or the most prepared. What they were was willing to begin before the timing was ideal, willing to launch before everything was polished, willing to look imperfect in the pursuit of progress. Waiting for perfection is just fear wearing a mask. It's fear pretending to be logic. It sounds smart. I'm just preparing. I need more research. I don't want to fail. But underneath all that is one simple truth. You're scared. And that's okay. But don't lie to yourself about what's really holding you back. Every master was once a beginner. Every expert had a day when they were clueless. The difference is they started. They didn't wait for all the answers because they understood this. The best learning comes from doing, not waiting. Starting before you're ready builds your resilience. It forces you to grow. It teaches you how to adjust, adapt, and figure it out as you go. And the best part, once you're in motion, you create momentum, and momentum is more powerful than motivation. So if you're sitting on an idea, a dream, a decision, stop trying to perfect it before it sees the light of day. Start messy, start awkward, start uncertain, just start, because starting creates clarity, starting creates confidence, starting creates results. We tend to romanticize big breakthroughs, the overnight success, the giant leap, the viral moment. But in reality, most real success stories are built one small, consistent step at a time. Not in sudden explosions, but in quiet, deliberate progress. The truth is, the people who achieve big things aren't necessarily the smartest, fastest, or most talented. They're the ones who keep showing up. They understand a simple principle: massive goals are achieved through consistent action, not grand gestures, not once in while hustle, but steady, focused effort over time. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the size of your dream. Maybe it feels too far off, too complex, or just too big for someone like you. But here's the mindset shift. You don't need to do it all today. You just need to do the next right thing. One email, one workout, one chapter, one decision, one task. Repeat. Small steps done daily are what separate the people who dream from the people who deliver. Think about it. Writing a book doesn't happen in a weekend. It happens one page at a time. Getting in shape doesn't happen from one workout. It happens through a commitment to keep showing up even when motivation fades. Building a business, learning a new skill, creating a new life. It's always the compound effect of small, often invisible action. That's why discipline beats intensity. It's not about pushing yourself to the edge once in a while. It's about committing to do what needs to be done, even when it's boring, even when no one's watching, even when the results aren't showing up yet. And here's the real beauty of small steps. They build trust with yourself. Every time you follow through, even on the tiniest promise, you're casting a vote for the kind of person you are. You're saying, I follow through, I get things done, I keep going. That builds momentum, and momentum is everything. Don't wait for a lightning bolt of motivation. Don't wait until you feel inspired. Just take the next step, because small steps aren't small when they're headed in the right direction. They're building something unstoppable. Who you surround yourself with is one of the most powerful forces shaping your future, and most people underestimate it. Whether you realize it or not, your environment is constantly influencing you. Your habits, your beliefs, your standards, even your sense of what's normal. These are all being shaped by the people around you every single day. If you hang around people who complain, procrastinate, and make excuses, that energy will seep into your mindset. You'll start lowering your standards without even noticing. You'll normalize laziness. You'll catch their fear, their doubt, their hesitation, and call it your own. It's like second-hand smoke for your goal. On the flip side, when you're surrounded by action takers, people who are chasing big visions, solving problems, building, pushing, moving, you can't help but level up. You think bigger, you move faster. You start seeing challenges as stepping stones instead of stop signs. That's why this isn't just about motivation. It's about strategy. Success isn't a solo sport. You need to be around people who hold you accountable, who remind you of your greatness, who challenge your excuses and raise your standards. People who are too busy building their dreams to gossip, complain, or waste time. Take a hard look at your circle. Are they pushing you forward or pulling you back? Are they lifting your energy or draining it? Are they committed to growth or addicted to comfort? And here's the key. You don't have to cut people out of your life to level up, but you do have to be intentional about whose voices you let influence your direction. Because the loudest voices in your life will either propel you toward action or seduce you into stagnation. If you want to get things done, get around people who are doing things. Join masterminds, network with doers, read books by people who have walked the walk. Surround yourself with progress, with grit, with urgency. Let excellence become contagious. Iron sharpens iron. When you're in the right environment, your excuses shrink, your standards rise, and your results accelerate. Not by force, but by alignment.